Why have you been able to create the roles and the projects you want in Atlanta, but not so much in Hollywood?
Price? I think that, so in Hollywood, and I noticed it even when I flew in, it's like there's this go, go, go. There's this hustle, 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 struggle, 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 survive, survive, survive. You feel that energy here. And in Atlanta, it's a lot easier to get locations. It's a lot easier to get collaborative people because a lot of times it's just the effort, the aligned effort. I don't even call work work anymore. It's just aligned effort, right? So when you have that aligned effort with multiple people, you're able to get something that's a lot more magical. A lot of times you hear from people that say, hey, if you're gonna make an indie film, make it in one location, right? And I'm completely against that. And the only reason why I'm against that is because you still have to make the film interesting to the viewer. And if you only have one location, there's only so much you can do. Not to say that there hasn't been successful films in one location, but when you're an indie filmmaker, you're trying to maximize production value. And how can you maximize production value on a stringed budget? In Georgia, you're able to get these locations that you would never, unless you knew the owner of this place or something, or he was an uncle, you would never be able to get. So that is probably why it's so much easier to create in Georgia.
And it's cleaner there too, isn't it? Like it
Yes.
looks from the stuff that I was seeing on your channel, like it just looks so clean and all the places look so nice.
Yes.
Like San Fernando Valley, for anyone who hasn't come here, you really feel the struggle here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's just, minutes away from Hollywood, but that's funny as an outsider for just a little bit seeing that perspective, because when you live in it day in and day out, you don't even realize it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, it's not to say that Atlanta, the city, doesn't have its struggle, because it does. But, the state of Georgia is very family oriented, small businesses, right? So if you're into those two things, Georgia will be great. Now you're going to have your little pockets. That's real country. But if you're not into those pockets and you're kind of like in the metro areas and stuff, it's a beautiful place to live. But it's a lot easier for you to get your project done in Georgia. And I would assume for any filmmaker in Kansas, Idaho, Chicago, any place in Georgia outside of LA and New York, I would assume it's so much easier for you to use what you have, use the places that you visit frequently where people know your face. And if you're able to write your story around that kind of stuff, because if you're an indie filmmaker and your thought process, I know my thought process is, I'm not looking to sell this to somebody to hope that somebody else gives them a yes, to then hope that somebody else gives them a yes to go make this project. I write within what I know that I can accomplish to go shoot. So I don't have a backlog of 10, 15, 20 scripts. I write, shoot, write, shoot, write, shoot. That if you're in another state and you're like, man, I need to get to Hollywood, or I need to get to Atlanta, I want to get into the industry, you can start the industry where you are. Because all it takes is one financial successful hit. And the reason why I say financial is because nobody cares how good your movie is if it's not financially successful, because it's a business. So if you can create something that's financially successful and get a return where you are, then you can create your own solar system of Hollywood where you are. For my films, I use the same actors, the same people. They don't even audition anymore for all of the roles. I'll call them up. Hey, do you want to play this role? Yeah, okay, cool, we're gonna do it. And then I really wanted the Adam Sandler thing. I really wanted to have this core group of actors that we become family and we work on all of the same projects together. Because one thing that I know about indie filmmaking, and this is really advice to any filmmaker, energy, cohesive energy amongst people is a lot more valuable, and you'll get a better product than having somebody that's extremely talented, could be the best actor, best writer, best anything, best director. But if their energy is not cohesive with the rest of the crew and cast, then one drop of toxic in, a gallon of water, it's still poisonous. So energy is important.
Why did you schedule the production on Sundays?
So I knew that I was free and I was able to focus on weekends to shoot. And I knew that majority of the time, actors aren't doing anything on the weekends. So I thought to myself, hey, we can either make movies on weekends while we're watching Netflix from our couch, or we can do nothing and watch Netflix from our couch. So that's why, weekends is the most beneficial, because I work like everyone else. We work during the week. We have rent to pay and bills to pay. But on the weekends, it's like, that's fun time. You can either relax or create. And I think a lot of actors can agree with this. You feel alive. Like, I know for me, I come alive when I'm filming, when I'm on set. Like, it's a feeling like no other. It's almost like I don't want to say high because I don't do drugs and I never have, but it's almost like a high, I would say, for the lack of better words. I come alive when I perform. And I know other actors feel this way because you can see the sparkle turn on. When it's like action, you see the sparkle. When they see themselves on the screen, you see the sparkle. You're able to take the audience to another world, right? And it's so important because majority of the actors on my films, first-time actors, maybe they've done like a student film or a short film, but they don't have these heavy credits. You have like one or two that have a lot of credits, but for a lot of them, it's their first time. So by being able to give them that experience, to let them know like, hey, you already did one movie, you can audition and you can do other movies and you can make it happen because you've already did it. You're boosting other people as well. You're giving other people opportunities to showcase what they really want to do. And you're letting them know like, hey, this is a safe space. You have the creative freedom to talk. You have the creative freedom to say whatever you want. You have the creative freedom to like a line or not like a line and change it and play it how you want to play it. You have that freedom. You don't have to feel nervous. And if you look on the films, a lot of times you're not really able to tell that it's a first-time actor or a second-time actor because that comfortability, right? Acting is about being comfortable. Just when there's action, you're comfortable. And you're going to get two different responses from actors. One that's not comfortable, they're going to rush through their lines. Oh my God, what is that? Huh? What? Comfortable actor. Oh my God. What is that? Okay, that's great. I like that take, right? Because that's what we were trying to convey. If you can allow someone to be comfortable, you're able to get a better performance. And I think that by us shooting on the weekends, you're already relaxed. And then by shooting with the same people, same actors, same crew, there's familiarity. There's no pressure. By you having the freedom as a creator or a creative to do whatever you want, now you know, like, hey, it doesn't matter if you mess up lines. I will sometimes purposely mess up lines to let everyone know, like, it's okay. We're just going to push record again and we're going to go. And I think that by shooting on weekends, you're able to get a lot more collaborative people on board with your projects because they're not doing anything on those weekends anyways, for the most part.
Plus, too, it's in Atlanta, and I know there's a lot of productions, but not as much as LA. So do you think people feel, too, an excitement that they're part of a film production?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how do you climb the stairs without taking steps, right? You have to take steps. And once you're able to get your feet wet, you're able to swim in the pool. And it's important to join your theater group, do student films, short films, commercials, because you're getting experience points. Like, a lot of times, I think people see people on TV and they say, oh, I can do that. It's no problem, that's easy. For some people, it is easy for some people, but for most people, you know how much work it takes just to be comfortable in front of the camera and have 100 people looking at you? Sometimes it's not about you being able to do it. Sometimes it's about you trusting in yourself enough and being comfortable enough to do it. And sometimes that's the barrier. So I used to be really bad at auditions. Even though I would get a lot of callbacks and stuff, I used to just not perform as good as I could. But anytime I booked a film or a commercial or anything, I did fantastic when it was go time. And I don't know what that circuitry was. If I could take that go time and put it in auditions, I probably would book a lot more. But for some reason, I didn't view the audition as the job. And I think if you view the audition as the job, you'll win more and you'll do more as a creative.